our new Memphis-style barbecue chicken sandwich. Try Slim's Craft Sandwiches today. Slim Chickens.
I'm Matt Glover with Aero Pest Service, and we are your family-owned and operated pest control company in Bay County since 1977. Did you know termites do more damage every year than fires, floods, and storms combined? And all they need is a width of a sheet of paper to get into your home. But I can tell you that it's completely preventable. You can protect the most valuable investment you have by calling us today. Give us a call today at Aero Pest Service, 850-874-1900.
That boot store reminds you, a special day is coming up for a special guy. Some call him father. Around these parts, it's usually daddy. And when he's around, there's a feeling of safety and security. This Father's Day, that boot store has the perfect Western outfit for that special guy. A gift card works great too. That boot store next to Billboard Kia on 15th Street. Open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday. 9 a.m. to 5:30 on Friday and Saturday. Remember Joe's motto, keep your Heavenly Father first in your life every day. Are you tired of being overcharged each month for health insurance? Or finding out you still have significant copays or deductibles out of pocket when you go to the doctor? Call KHS & Associates. Their independent insurance agency has helped individuals, families, and even small business employees lower their health insurance costs while improving coverage with no copays, no 80/20 co-insurance, and no deductibles unless hospitalized overnight. Call KHS & Associates, 502-386-1128.
We're your home for live sports. WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana. Powered by Pepsi. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Lights, camera, action.
It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Do you know who I am?
Live and local inside the J. Michael Studio.
People know me.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Get past the hit me.
Hit me! 104.3. Hit me, hit me, hit me. It is Tuesday. Ethan Boyd, the Texas Aggie, has decided to come in tomorrow. Brian will jump him tomorrow when he gets in here. I was going to get him today. Tell him to be nice.
He's doing some media consulting for Jimbo Fisher today.
Yeah, Jimbo was out in well, hey, Jimbo Brant. Hey, how you doing, Coach?
I'm doing all right.
Looking mighty fine there. Everything good in the Brant world?
Yes, sir.
How's Judy Bob?
She's doing good.
All right. Is she listening or is she down in Disney?
No, she's home.
Yeah.
She's
she has to make so many appearances at Disney monthly that to keep Disney running. She does a great job. Really, she does. I bet she's been to Disney more than any other single person in the state of Florida. That does not work there. I really believe that.
It's a lot.
since 1990 or 1992, whenever she got down in the Cape.
Yeah. When we used to go the most was when we lived in Brevard County, because it was only like an hour and 15 minutes, just go across the beeline and just go.
Do you ever get tired of it?
Honestly, yes.
Yeah.
There's only so many times you can ride Splash Mountain,
Yeah. It's a small world. Yeah.
One time. 1981.
You're probably the wisest man in this room.
Remembers the year.
Yeah.
It must have been when
it was before,
Don't go.
Before my brother was born.
Don't go in the summertime.
I know
Don't
this.
go.
Epcot was not finished when I last went to Disney World.
Yeah, it's really hot in the summer.
Yeah. They go to the pool, don't go to the room. I mean, anyway. Hey, we got a great show for you today. Brian will be in tomorrow. I'm heading to Birmingham to watch some baseball, the SEC tournament, hopefully. And we'll have no show Friday. We'll have a national show Friday and a national show Monday, but everything else will be the same. Thursday, Jeremy Pridgeon, Mike, and Dave will be here. So we'll get everything set up the rest of the week. Brian has everything set up with Mark McLeod, Dr. Ward, and Ethan Boyd, and everything like that. Talking about Jimbo yesterday, he was out. I don't know if you guys saw it or not. It was on Facebook or something. He was out, and I want to say in San Antonio, to a local TV station. The guy interviewing, the guy was pressing him. You could tell the guy was trying to get him to say something about Saban, trying to get him to say, to stir the pot, get ratings. And Jimbo had no part of it. The SI was telling Jimbo one time, well, he interrupted Jimbo.
Yeah.
Jimbo, you see it?
Yeah.
Stuck his hand out like, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it. But what did he say, Brian, that we, out of the 11 early enrollees, only one has signed a contract, an NIL contract. Was that the wording?
Something like that. It's going to be one of those cases where he is technically correct.
There you go.
But we all know these things are lined up. They're done. And no one even is upset about it. It's just.
I know. Why does he keep
know.
going on it? Like you said earlier, it's legal. I mean, really, there's no, you can say the intent, whatever. We all know what the intent was. We all know. Come on. We all know what's going on.
And there's
it really is, nothing's going to happen to you.
And there's no oversight. You know, for me, for the NCAA, this is the lesser of two evils. Not lesser of two evils. It's the easiest path forward, you know. Let's see. We can investigate everybody and waste countless millions of dollars in time and all this to investigate, or we just let them do what they want.
Because legally, what's going to happen?
All of Jimbo Fisher's issues, and that you can see it in his face when he's talking about this, is that he took the rules that are out there right now and beat everybody at that this year, and there is no acknowledgement of the work that went in by him and his staff to beat everybody. You can just see it just dripping as he is going off on his rants.
No, you're exactly right. And then there's another story Ryan Mulvey sent me today. There's a player up in Pennsylvania. I'm pretty sure it was in Pennsylvania. They have an all-star game that's been going on for years. It's a huge deal up there to be able to play in this game.
Probably the Big 33 game.
That's it. You're right. That's exactly the Big 33 football classic, all-star football game. Top players from Pennsylvania. They've been doing it, I think, Jim, since 1957.
Yeah, it's been
Maryland, Pennsylvania playing it. They're players.
Ohio used to play Pennsylvania in an all-star game, too. I don't know if they still do, but they used to.
All right, he's a 4-star defensive end, the number 2 player from the entire state, and he was on the roster, ready to go, excited about playing. The coaches that running it, they're excited he's playing. Maybe his high school coaches coach it. I don't know. But then all of a sudden, he informs them, I can't play. And they're like, wait a minute. You're not playing. We got you on the roster. We're ready for you to play. I can't play, and this is what he says. I can't play. I've been told I could lose my NIL money to Texas A&M if I play. So Brian just knocked out of the ballpark. Technically, what he said is true. The 11 players, only one have actually signed a contract. He didn't say that all of them are lined up to get one. They just hadn't signed it yet.
Right.
So this kid's not going to play. He is not going to play in the All-Star game up there that he was wanted to do because he does not want to lose. He don't want to piss off Texas A&M. He don't want to make Texas A&M mad. He don't want to make them mad, and he wants that money. Show me the money. I want that green stuff.
Like coming from Texas to Ohio State for a year.
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing.
Get your $1 million, go back home.
Take your money and go home. That's exactly right.
So, Brian, I think you knocked it out of the ballpark, what you said earlier. Technically, he's probably told the truth.
Sure.
Now, or not the whole truth.
Well,
I mean, really, what he said was true. Only
you
one
can't
player.
handle the truth.
Correct.
Nick, you can't handle
You can't handle the. That's what Jimbo ought to say.
He told the truth. It doesn't tell the whole story.
You can't handle the truth.
Hey, Saban, you can't handle it, man.
He can't. He's going. Had he got all those players, you wouldn't hear word one from him about this.
But that's the deal. According to sources, Texas A&M signee could not play an all-star football game in his home state due to the threat of his NIL money being taken away.
Well, he could have played. He chose not to play.
The kid wanted to play.
Well, if the kid wanted to play, he would have played.
He made a business decision.
That's it.
He didn't want to lose that money. He didn't want to make him mad.
But I hate how that's phrased. He couldn't. Yeah, he could have.
Yeah.
It was a decision. Maybe I would have made the same one, but no, you're not being victimized there. You made a decision for financial reasons. Fine, that's what it is.
And you making the big bucks. I wonder how much he's making. I really do. And Jimbo also said you saw it. He got on the reporter like, well, you just social media. You heard all this stuff, social media. You bought into it. You reported. You're not, more or less said you're not a very good reporter because you didn't do your homework. Yeah. I mean, he called the guy out. And isn't that when the SI said kind of calm down?
Well, he's more right about that than he even knows because, nowadays that's what reporting is. I'll go on Twitter and see what somebody said, and I'll just report that as if it's fact. Yeah. All we've done is created the world's largest high school hallway. because that's all it is. It's just you hear what that so-and-so said about so-and-so. I mean, we've all gone back to high school.
And recruiting.
Pass me a note in study hall and tell me about it.
Yeah, so so he's right about that, and the fact that you guys, this sliced bread guy, who no one even knows who this is, this Twitter guy or whatever that broke the hole. They're sitting on $30 million, whatever.
35 million.
Everybody accepted that as true. It may be, but used to be that what would happen, that would come out, and the journalists would start going nuts trying to uncover all of it. It's one of the things Jimbo said. He's more right about that than probably he even knows.
Well, you know what's so sad? Honest to God, the national media, you can't believe a word they say.
No.
I mean, that's God's truth.
About anything.
About anything. I mean, all that trial with Clinton going on right now, not one word from any
whatever they say, it's probably the truth is probably the opposite.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This Ukraine deal, I'm like, I don't know about this. And they all jumping on board on this.
But even the ones who don't have an agenda, the whole nature of the news business now is to be first. We'll worry about being right later.
Right.
And that causes a lot of this stuff, even with people who might be generally good reporters, but they have to get it out first or it doesn't matter. And that's where mistakes are made.
We used to have a saying in television.
To speak into the microphone?
To turn the mic on. And
101, turn the microphone.
Yeah.
No, if it bleeds, it leads.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if the more dramatic you can make it,
That's
whether
true.
it's factual or non-factual, if it sounds dramatic, then that's the story you lead with. Save your personal interest stories.
Wait a minute now. Come on. If the
And
lie.
they had meetings. They had their morning
y'all are
meetings.
wrong.
No, he's
Y'all are
100%
wrong.
right how we were taught.
No,
Maybe
y'all-
not the way it should
y'all-
be.
Jim talk. These young guys don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
Lie.
thank you, Coach.
A
Remember, we
lie.
were taught by your generation.
A lie is true if you believe it.
Yeah,
A
there you
lie
go.
is
That's
true.
the
if you
George
believe it.
Costanza model.
I mean, you know, you say it long enough, everybody will. You know,
That's right. If I
It's
say it
not a
long enough,
lie.
they'll
I'll believe it.
all believe
If
it.
you
Keep
believe
on
it.
saying it. Yeah, unbelievable. All right, let's take a.
You know what the problem is?
You got-
Mr. Evil's at work here.
Oh man, Mr. Evil.
Yeah.
I got one on my right side right side is Mr. Angel, left side is Mr. Evil, and they're always working, man. They fighting. It's a constant battle. Hey, you got locally? You want to say some things? We gotta.
We want to draw your attention to our billboards that are out here, there, and everywhere. Let's see. Also, coming up here on ESPN, Northwest Florida, 104.3, later on this evening at 6:20, we've got the Phillies and the Atlanta Braves playing ball. It's going to be right here on the air. And while you're out cruising around getting all your munchies for the baseball game, make sure you take a picture of our billboards. They're here, they're there, they're everywhere. All you got to do is take a picture of it, post it on Facebook, tag it with ESPN Northwest Florida in the photo, and send it to espnpc.com. Take a picture of it, tag it, and you could win a whole big bunch of prizes. T-shirts, fleece, Jose Felice.
Yeah, he's here. He's in the lobby waiting. He'll be on next.
And all kinds of eating and drinking opportunities, coupons to go out to some of the nicest places, which Coach is about to tell you about here in a little while. Some of the nicest places in town. So go out and take a picture of the billboard, the ESPN billboard, tag it with ESPN Northwest Florida in the photo, and then send it to espnpc.com, and you could win a whole big bunch of goodies.
Dave texted me, and we're supposed to have a winner coming here this morning, and they've got the stuff out there to give him. So,
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He sent me a picture, so I can show you
I
the
thought
picture.
that was
what it was.
mine.
Well, the guy didn't come.
Employee appreciation.
Yeah.
That's what
Hey,
I saw one yesterday. I saw a sign yesterday. I can't tell. Then everybody just go there and cause a wreck. But I will say that I'm not skilled enough to get my phone out and ready and get the thing. But I did see it. So
I didn't know how to take a picture. Hey, we got breaking news. Wow. We're just talking about reporting. Jeff Patton, the new baseball coach at Mosley. Wow.
Is anybody surprised
Really?
by that?
No, we're just making it up because, like
Okay.
you said,
Oh,
we're just
there
trying
we
to.
go.
Yeah, that was
yeah, but you
fake
didn't,
news.
You didn't say he was bleeding though.
No,
That'd
he
have
ain't
been
bleeding
perfect.
yet. I tell you what, if I was Mosley and I was a booster there, and I love my people at Bozeman, I do. I love you guys, but I got to be honest with you. I would call there and say, well, what's it going to take?
Coach Patton may have just driven off the road.
He probably come and shoot me later. But you want the best. He's one of the best ones out there. All right, let's talk about some of our great, and we were kidding about him being the coach.
I can't believe you got me with that.
Let's talk about J. Michael's Restaurant. I saw 2 studs in there yesterday. Unbelievable.
Yes, I was there.
Yeah, you and Phil Cobb. They were
Phil
both
Cobb
in
was
there.
there?
They were both in there. It was amazing. We had a great conversation. How long did we stay? An hour after we ate, just talking.
Yeah, we were there about an hour.
Phil was telling his stories, and it takes him 1 hour to tell one 5-minute story. It takes him an hour. But we had great. What'd you have? I forgot. Grilled chicken salad.
No, yesterday I had the gumbo.
That's right. I had the red beans and rice were outstanding. Get down there. Phil had we went there back last night and had dinner. Phil had the pork chop. That pork chop was huge. I'm telling you, go try it.
Huge.
It's good. Huge, baby. Best bargains out there. J. Michael's Restaurant. Best seafood. Colas beer. Get out there and try it. Tell them Coach sent you. Stevenson Air Conditioning. It was hot and it was humid like it is every morning. We crank it on and it's running perfectly right now. If you have any kind of problem, day or night, call Stevenson Air Conditioning. They will solve all problems quickly. They'll get out there quickly and take care of it. Jason does a great job out there. Buffalo Rock thanks all those guys and everything you guys have done. And don't forget about, seriously, if you're going to do any kind of real estate deal, you go to closing, you don't want any surprises whatsoever. You want everything done smoothly, correct the first time. And that's the reason everybody around here, all the big boys use Chuck Tucker. Demand Chuck Tucker. You got to use South Oak Title and Closing. Chuck Tucker, #1. It's not even close. There's no competition. Back Beach Road, they got a big, beautiful office there. Right here on 77, another one. Right by, I think, real estate. It's pretty cool. All right, we'll be right back. We do have some news. Brian's going to tell us about what's going on at North Bay Haven, new baseball coach. We all kind of know that guy, I believe. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Calvert.
J.J. Redick had called out like basketball players, like in the 50s, 60s, and he said, these guys are Bob Cousy's playing against firemen and plumbers.
Jerry West wasn't too shabby. We must have had the best firemen and plumbers on the planet at the time.
The Herd, weekdays 11 to 2 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Sunday morning. I'm forecasting spotty showers and thunderstorms today and tonight. A mix of sun and clouds during the day, partly to mostly cloudy tonight. 85 for the high, low 70s for the low. South wind 10 to 15. Water temperature in the Gulf is 80 degrees. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, best little lumber yard in Panama City and Youngstown. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh. She's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Here is your ice-cold Pepsi Zero Sugar, sir.
Oh, thanks. Wanna watch the game?
Ooh, little sports ball on a Sunday afternoon. Don't mind if I do. Hey, did we win? It sounds like we won.
It's still the first quarter.
I must be lucky. People say that about me. Tough break on that free throw there. Shouldn't be doing that.
Dude, we're watching football. Come on.
For everyone who spent the entire game explaining the entire game, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
I'd like to introduce.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show.
Milk was a bad choice.
If I could just have your attention.
60% of the time, it works. Every time.
If anyone wants to switch jobs, let me know.
Live from the J. Michael Studio.
I have many leather-bound books.
At 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest. Well, school's almost out. We got graduation. I think Bozeman was last night.
Yeah.
But we do have some news Brian's going to share with you. I really like the new coach that's being hired. Go into it. What do you got for us today?
Well, North Bay Haven has made 2 announcements at the same time. Dustin, and I'm sorry if I get your name wrong, Renspies is the way I believe it is, has been – now, he got named the athletic director not terribly long ago, but he was also the baseball coach. And so instead of trying to keep juggling those 2 full-time jobs, he's stepped down as the baseball coach to focus solely on the AD job. And they've just promoted from within, a name familiar to us from a few years ago, Cody Chismar.
Yeah, good one.
Who was assistant at North Bay Haven, but previously he had been an assistant at Bay and assistant at Mosley, but we knew him more as the head coach at Rutherford from 2017 to 2019. Now, his overall record at Rutherford was 34-48, which sounds rough, but remember how bad Rutherford was impacted by Michael.
Right.
That season after Michael, Rutherford was 5-20 because they'd lost most of their team.
Yeah.
You take that out, he's over 500 baseball coach.
Oh, he's a great coach.
Yeah, Bay alum, knows the area, has worked almost everywhere. He did a good job helping last year with the North Bay Haven. I think this is a great move by North Bay Haven. It's going to be good to see Coach Chiz kind of back on the back in the dugout, leading another program.
Now, with Hudson out there, and hey, that's a great hire, no doubt about it. But I will throw this out there. Did they go through the procedure? Did anybody ever think Hudson would?
I don't know. I saw that question asked by some local news. I don't know. It may be that it was very easy to promote from within because you got the guy there and you know he can do it and he's got the experience. I don't know if they – I also don't know if they have to follow a certain set of list the job for X amount of days being a charter school. I don't know.
I think they do.
Good question. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the easiest and wisest thing. You know what you got right there.
Right.
But would you not have looked to the state championship coach too? I mean, I'm happy with the hire.
That's
I'm
the
really
thing.
happy with the
It's
hire.
not any day on that. I don't know the process. It may be that certain people had let them know ahead of time they weren't going to be interested.
Right.
I mean, we don't know.
We don't. Okay.
So, I mean, look, it's not like Renspies, it took him a while to find out the head coach was leaving. It was him. So he may have known this for a while.
Man, they have lost the football coach over there, and they got a new one. And the one they got in there, hers is outstanding, but they lost an outstanding one. And then the baseball coach was the AD. He's gone. Did the basketball coach get?
Well, it wasn't that long ago. I can't remember. Kevin Jacobs, I know, was doing some basketball. That may have been girls. I can't remember. But he was the AD, and he stepped down.
Yeah.
So I'll be honest with you. I can't, with all the coaching turnover we've had here in the last couple of years, I can't keep up. I can't remember.
Star is left Bay High School. We just now lost the baseball coach at North Bay Haven. We just hired one, so that's 2 turnovers there. Mosley has lost the baseball coach, so welcome to high school sports.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep a job for a long period of time. I don't care what your coach. You talk about it. You're in charge of a bunch of coaches. You run an organization. Coaching is tough, man. Coaching is tough.
Well, it is, and a lot of people aren't talking about the impact that COVID. I mean, COVID had an impact on everybody, but on coaches, especially in club sports where it's actually a business. It wore out so many coaches who were having to work 3 times as much for half the pay a lot of time. A lot of coaches deferred money forever and stuff like that, and it just wore them out, and a lot are getting out. A lot of the new, rules and procedures and things like that don't allow coaches to actually help mold children and help them learn from their mistakes anymore. It's things all get kicked up to a national and a legal level, and then it gets nuclear and people are just sometimes tired of dealing with that, and a lot of coaches, unfortunately, are stepping away because they just can't. They've always got their backup. They're always on the defensive, it seems like, and that wears on you as a person.
Not only the coaches leave, well, coaches are teachers, but
teachers too, absolutely.
We can't keep teachers anywhere.
Right.
I mean, it's getting scary.
Yeah, I picked a good time to retire because, man, these last 3 years for teachers has been a nightmare. Because we know a lot. We've been all
talked to the coaches, talked to the teachers.
We know a lot. South Florida, Central Florida, Taylor County.
Yeah.
And their stories are all similar. It's hard to be a teacher.
Here. Yeah.
It's not just here.
The biggest thing I hear is the lack. There's no discipline anymore in schools. And they try to cover it up. They try like it's no problem.
Well,
but there's a major issue out there.
And teachers and coaches aren't backed up a lot of times by administration if they do administer it because they're afraid of lawsuits and things like that. So it's a brutal job.
It really is. And I tell you what, I think I'm gonna run for school board because I won't raise your taxes. And we had school board members wanting to raise taxes on everybody, and there's no discipline out there. We need new leadership. But I think I'll pass. I don't think I will run.
Good call.
I'll let them worry about that. I'm too old to be doing that. But
I think Balboa just burst into flames there when you said that.
You can't go to Dollywood. You can't go to Dollywood as a school.
I know. I can't. Yeah.
Pigeon Forge and.
Yeah, but we got to do something. And you know what? If I was at school, I'd tell them, hey, the problem's not these kids. It's a problem. And the bottom line is, guys, the people out there listening that got kids, you're the problem. You got to look in the mirror. Raise your kids to have discipline and do what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to be at school every day. Get their butt up and get them in school. They need to act a certain way in school. If not, they need to be going. We need more alternative schools. You don't act a certain way, you're out. You're going to go sit over here with Tom and Joe that don't want to do anything. Y'all go to this school. We're going to let the ones that want to get education be right here at Arnold Bay, Mosley, North Bay Haven, whatever. We got to come back with some type of discipline. We're going to lose it. And look what's going on now.
Right.
You know. But hey, everything's good. Don't worry about anything. The government's going to take care of you. You're going to get free college, you get free food, free housing, free gas. Don't worry about it.
Have your student debt waived.
Yeah, we got it made. It's all on Putin. Anyway, where am I going?
I don't know.
Where am I going?
At this point,
sugar this
you're
morning.
running for school board.
This dang sugar got me going again this morning.
Yeah.
Anyway,
All it took was that one biscuit and a Dr. Pepper.
We've announced hires that
bouncing off the walls.
We've announced hires that didn't
What's
happen.
Mosley going to do? I want to know. We're talking about hiring. Where's Mosley going to get their coach at? Where are they going to get him, Jim?
I don't know.
Doug, we want to know what's
Chris
going on.
Lee. Well, Chris Lee, Mowat Middle School, baby.
It would make sense that they probably haven't announced anybody yet because a lot of the baseball's just ending.
That's true. Yeah.
And so I'm sure they're looking at some high-level coaches that probably are just finished or still in the state playoffs. So.
Do you guys realize what a great job that is to be the baseball coach at Mosley?
Sure.
That's one of the top jobs in the state. Now, is there pressure? Absolutely. But that's what you want. Yeah. They're going to give you everything you need to be successful. They've got more money over there. They got the best boosters of anybody. That is a great job. I've heard some people, I wouldn't take that job because look what they just did.
I like the fact that, like, if I were a baseball coach, I'd like the fact that the previous AD had baseball background in Vandergrift, and the current AD certainly had it as state champion baseball coach in Doug Lee. So having that is great, too.
Jim, you know him. That's what kind of made me mad. People started saying these little rumors about Coach Lee over there, the athletic director. We know what outstanding character he has. His brother, him, his family, his mom and dad, they're outstanding people. They raised two wonderful kids right there. And they are first-class individuals, both those boys. They're grown men, but both of them are outstanding. And Doug, they wouldn't do anything under the table. I'm telling you that right now. He had nothing to do with that. He had absolutely nothing to do with the change there.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah,
because if anybody knows what's going on there, I mean, he won a championship there himself. So not that long, 12 years ago or so, 15, whatever it's been. Yeah. So he knows.
I do want to talk about this. It's going to take a little while. The SEC commit. I told you I talked some.
Yeah.
The SEC commissioner is not a happy camper right now, and I don't blame him whatsoever. And y'all hear me out. It's going to take a little while. And you worked your tail off when you were told you're on a committee. Let's find out what we can do about expanding the playoffs. You put all this work into it, and you did whatever you thought everybody wanted to happen. And you come up with a great scheme, a great plan, which everybody would have loved it, and everybody would have agreed with it until you didn't quite mention to the guy you're working with, oh, yeah, we're taking your two top teams out of your conference going to come play in the SEC, Oklahoma and Texas. So that's the reason, and everybody kind of turned on the SEC and him. You think about it, that's the truth, you know. So what he wanted was a 12-team playoff, especially with Oklahoma and Texas coming in, where it was the best teams coming in. I think he was okay with the conference champs coming in, but the next 6 or whatever, say you keep the top 5 conference champs or 4, whatever they talked about, but the rest of them would be the best or highest ranked teams, the best teams in there. Knowing good and well, when you bring in Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Florida, Auburn, that you're going to have a team and you're going to have multiple teams in the playoffs every single year, which helps your conference. Now that looks like it's out the door. So he has made it clear nothing is off the table. And when I say nothing's off the table, they're talking, and this is a fact, Jack. They're talking the SEC might pull out, have their own little deal going on, their own separate deal, and they'd have their own national championship. An 8-team playoff, that's this thing's being thrown out. They're going to look, and they're saying they're going to look at everything. Now, it could be a smoke screen to get what I want because of the power of the SEC. And when we come back, we'll finish up with this. Then we got to get FSU in Florida, Alabama, Auburn today. So we got plenty of time to get everything. But we get back, and we're going to hit this a little bit longer. We got a break we got to take right now. Hey, Brian, you've been there. You know how great it is. As a matter of fact, I think you were there one night. They had the band playing. El Rodeo, Tequila Bar and Grill. If you've not been there yet, it's the newest. It's the best Mexican restaurant on Panama City Beach. It's right across from the Navy base. Happy hours 4 to 7. The drinks are unbelievable. What's that one you get? Margarita. It's unbelievable.
That ain't me.
Was that
you?
I was Phil Cobb.
It could have been
That
Manly.
was Phil Cobb I had to go get and take home. Remember, he said you.
Well, no, I had to step over Glenn.
Yeah, could have been Manly or Ed.
Anyway, go try it. You'll
Great
love
food.
It.
And
they got lunch specials every day.
The band will come serenade you. It was a great time.
They changed the day the bands come in. I think they changed it to Thursday. I
Thursday was when I was there.
Yeah, I think they did. It was on Friday. They changed it to Thursday. You're right. Also, I got to brag on another place, American Charlie. You've been there. Go on Friday, get the lunch special. Fried catfish, the best you'll ever have. I'm telling you, the food, all the food there is outstanding. There's no doubt about that. First responders, you get a discount every single day. Happy hour, you pick what you want. It's not what the little special they got. It's not Budweiser. It's whatever you want. They just cut the price. You get it makes you happy. Go try it. It's that is the newest restaurant out there in Panama City Beach. Dave and Mike run it. Dave's half partners with Mike. You know how good Dave is. Are you kidding me? Firefly? That's the #1 restaurant in the dang country. So you know how good the food's going to be down there at American Charlie. Go try them. Tell them Coach sent you. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Giannis is the best player in the world. That doesn't change with the fact that he had a bad day and lost. I think he wore down from carrying that team practically by himself against that extraordinary defense and all those bodies the Celtics throw at him. But to me, the Middleton factor is undersold, and Giannis is clearly the best player in the world.
Greeny, weekdays 2 to 4, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Stop by Panama City Toyota this Memorial Day. Their sales department is open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Their Summer Starts Here savings event is still going on with no payments for 90 days on new vehicles. APR as low as 1.9%. They have a huge selection of certified pre-owned vehicles with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Shop in person or online at PanamaCityToyota.com.
Hi folks, it's Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Did you know that we have a master jeweler right here in the store? That's right, he has over 30 years experience in the art of repairing jewelry. Most repairs are done within 2 business days, so don't send your jewelry off for 6 weeks. Bring it to us at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We size rings and solder chains. We can reset your diamond into new settings and even custom design. You'll get your jewelry back quickly and looking as good as new. Tracy's Fine Jewelry, Bay County's trusted jeweler for over 45 years.
It's the cooling season, and time to call Steverson Air Conditioning for your preventative maintenance to keep your air conditioning system operating at full capacity. Steverson Air Conditioning has preventative maintenance programs, and they service all makes and models. Steverson Air Conditioning offers air duct cleaning. Steverson Air Conditioning has after-hours service and free estimates on a system change-out or duct cleaning. Call them at 248-1109.
Broadcasting live from the J. Michaels Studios.
The best part of waking up is
The Coach James Hale Show. Powered by Pepsi. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida in Destin. They will be getting together at the end of the month talking about all kind of things. When Texas A&M, Oklahoma comes in, pods, divisions, scheduling 8 games, 9 games, you name it, they're talking about it. And yes, the other one is breaking away and having their own national championship. We don't want to see that. But we have had multiple national championships in the past. I don't want to see them break away. I want everybody to kind of stay together. I did not like the expanding of the playoffs because more games for the players and all the other issues. But with Texas, Oklahoma coming in, I do want to see the best 12 teams in there. But I will say this. I would go for this, and tell me what you think, Jim, because you're a Big Ten guy. I would be okay with the Big Ten and the SEC combining and going, we're having our own national championship. We're having our own league. We'll run football the way we want to do it. We'll pay our players the way we want to pay them. And the reason I say that, the 2 richest conferences in football is the Big Ten and the SEC. The highest paid coaches in the country come from those 2 conferences. The most NFL players drafted every year come from those 2 conferences. Ohio State's won, 2 national championships in the last 16 years?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and been to playoffs?
Yeah, and been runner-up 3 other times.
16 of 12 of the national championships in the last 16 years from the SEC. Alabama and Georgia twice have played for the national championship. I could live with that. I still would rather see everybody involved in it. But what's your thoughts that from the Big Ten, if things get where they want to, Ohio State can afford to give more scholarships. They've went to 100. And everybody else, Big 12, Pac-12, whatever, they go, we want to keep it at 85. If there's stuff like that going on, would you be okay because you live with the SEC and the Big Ten breaking away and having 2 super conferences play for like the Super Bowl of college football?
Personally, I don't think that's a workable thing. I don't think they'd ever get people they can say what they want. They don't want to be viewed as the big bullies and we're just going to do it our way, and if you don't like it, tough. I just don't see that happening. Could it happen? Yeah, maybe, but I don't see that happening. Because, look at all the players USC got. Well, what about us? We got all these players over here.
You would have multiple national championships. You would.
Yeah, there's been multiple championships now with the 1AA and Division 2 and 3, but that's not quite the same thing. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. I just don't think that's a good solution.
Did you hear Gene Smith making all he's been saying lately that he could see one day them breaking and doing their own deal?
Now I could see a super conference with like 30-something teams with a combination of the Pac-10, Big 12. I could see that, and personally I think that will happen. But just SEC, Big Ten, I don't know. I don't think so.
So you would think it would be like a few teams from the West that are big boys, and then the East.
Personally, I think you stop and analyze it. Who are the real players in college football? There's about 15 that year in and year out are really this is where the players are. This is where the championships come from, and there's about 20 others that are always pretty good. And after that, not so much,
Yeah. Well, Southern Cal's coming on. They're coming back.
Yeah, they definitely
They have made the commitment. We talked about that conference out there, how every school has an opportunity to do what they want to do, to buy in, to do what it takes to be successful. Some of them don't have the resources to do it, and other universities choose not to do it. Notre Dame, sometimes they won't lower their standards to get certain kids into the schools there, and I respect them for that. But that's their choice. Southern Cal has made the decision. We're going to be good again in football. They have opened up the pocketbooks and they're doing it. I think Oregon's the same. I think you got 2 teams out that way that really want to do that.
All right.
Now in the Big 12, when Oklahoma, Texas leave, who's going to be the powerhouse there? Oklahoma State, Baylor.
Remember, Cincinnati's going to be going in there too.
Yeah, and UCF.
Yeah, and
BYU.
UCF, Memphis.
Yeah.
I don't. That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Traditionally, it hasn't really been any of them. I don't know.
For a few years, TCU with Patterson would have been in that mix, but they've moved on from him and all that.
Yeah, they've got to find
out. When Miami gets better,
in the Big 12.
When Miami gets better and Florida State gets back, then that changes the outlook of the ACC completely. Because right now it just seems like it's
and the
Clemson.
North Carolina teams keep getting close to breaking through.
Yeah,
like NC State will get right on the edge of really becoming a dominant power, and then they fall off. North Carolina, same thing. Virginia Tech kind of was for a while under Beamer. They've fallen off.
Pitt was pretty good this past
there's a
year.
lot of teams in the ACC that get close and just can't quite break through.
To me personally, what I think is happening, I think he's just sending a message to everybody out there. Hey, look, don't push us too far. We need, if we're going to have these super leagues and stuff like that, do y'all want it to go to 12 with Texas and Oklahoma going in? Do y'all want to keep it at 4? I don't care what they do. Just get the best teams in there.
Well, I'd like to see it go to 12 at this point because I think the whole bowl system's broken, and we've talked about how I would reconfigure all of that.
Tell me again, because I like that.
Well, I would like to see them take what they do with the bowls and make that a week 0 thing. And because everybody is excited about your team in week 0, and you're willing to travel and this, that, and the other. And so I would put that the very first week of the season. You could create a whole selection special where you're drawing out of a hat, like Alabama's going to face.
Yeah, look how excited you'd be week 1.
And so that would be neat. Then you kind of get into the meat of your conference schedule, and then you go into the playoffs where the first 4 teams would get a bye, which I think is important. And you do it on campuses until the semifinals and finals like they do now.
Yeah.
So that way everybody who's at least in the top 8 would get an extra home game. There's the benefit of that. So I think I'd like to see something like that. Now, there's a lot of moving parts in that scenario, so there'd probably be fewer non-conference games, which means fewer of the cupcake payoffs, which are important to the smaller schools. And the bigger schools may not like the fact that they don't get those cupcakes. But personally, I'd like to see that.
I think it'd be a great idea. I mean, people have money before Christmas. You kind of well, have a big Christmas or go to a bowl game. You do it at the beginning of the year, the excitement you would have. And you could
travel anywhere in August. It's not like you have to do them in Florida or California because the weather's nice.
Yeah.
And, Florida may not like that because there's a lot of bowls in Florida.
You might want to limit it to how many bowls you can have.
Sure.
But could you imagine, it could be tied in like it used to be in the old days where you have the Big Ten versus the Pac-12. It could be the SEC versus whoever.
Well, you could do it as blind draws, and you could pod people and say, look, anybody in the top 12's got to play someone else from the top 12, but no conference matchups.
Yeah.
So you might draw Alabama, Ohio State.
Week 1.
To play in the Rose Bowl or something. How cool would that be?
Didn't Alabama and Ohio State one year? I don't think it was week 1. Maybe it was week 1. They played New Jersey.
Yeah, that was that was the late 80s.
Yeah, Ray Perkins was the head coach then.
Yeah, I remember that.
Woody was gone too, right?
Yeah, that'd have been Earl Bruce.
Yeah.
Another system I'd like, and a lot of people wouldn't like it. This is not an American thing, but in like a lot of the soccer leagues and things in Europe, they have what's called promotion and relegation, and basically there's several different tiers of competition, and like at the end of the year, like European soccer just mostly finished up, the bottom 3 teams in the top league get sent down to the second league, and then the top 3 teams from the second league behind them come up to the big money league. So if we did something in football where, let's say, we had like 4 48-team divisions, Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, Division 4, but every year we maybe moved up, 4 and subtracted 4. Now, it'll never work because we're not used to that
like
model. We're used to standard financial model. But, man, it would be cool because when you get into the big time, there's more money, there's more eyeballs, there's more TV revenue, stuff like that. It's a big deal.
Jim, wouldn't that be better for teams like Southern Mississippi, Troy, where you have a chance to win a championship and the school's your own size instead of
you would think
getting drilled by Alabama?
Right.
But it needs to be, too, where you can win a championship, but you also have the opportunity to move up to the next division where there's more money on the table, more eyeballs on you, things like that, which would be great. It won't happen because no one wants the opportunity of dropping.
Right.
That's why the pro sports will never go to it in the United States because it's locked in money. But I'd love to see it. I think it's exciting.
We got all the answers. Give us a call. We'll tell you. 215-6290. We might give something away today. If you want to give us a call today, 850-215-6290. Give us a call and let's talk. Let's all go out and have lunch with your gifts. Jim, we get back. We're going to hit FSU up.
Okay.
We got Florida coming. We got Bama, Auburn, Florida on deck. SEC baseball is getting ready to get cranked up at 9:30 this morning. I think Georgia and Alabama are the first game. And then we'll go from there. Weather could be an issue. They're going to have a lot of rain up that way, so we'll have to pay attention to that. Anyway, we'll see how the Florida Gators do in that. We got Mark McLeod tomorrow. So you know what I was going to tell you about? Y'all got to ask him about Mick retiring. The voice of the
I
Gators.
had that listed as one of the questions I definitely wanted to talk to him about.
I can't believe he's
I wasn't even going to talk about it today because I wanted to talk to Mark about it.
Oh, my.
33 years, I
Yeah,
think.
it's been a long time.
Man, that's kind of sad.
He's very
leaving.
good.
He's outstanding. I loved it when Spurrier was there and him. That was some good days, man.
Yeah.
Spurrier's coaching.
I loved it when he announced Spurrier has thrown the visor again. That's when I felt good.
All right, let's talk about some great sponsors we have here, like Dr. Chad Mitchell. You can listen to him every Monday. Hey, he's been on the sidelines for 22 years. Anybody gets injured, go by, make an appointment, go by and see him. He'll take care of you. He does an incredible job. Shoulders, knees, you name it, he does it. Also, Bay Point Golf. There's only one place to go play golf. That is Bay Point. Ryan Movey and the group down there do a great job. And we'll have him in Friday week back in the studio. Can't wait for that. I tell you what, Jim, he's a really good coach. Does a great job flag football, does a great job soccer, whatever he does, and the kids love him. He's very positive. But he's teaching, man. He always changes up the lineup. He always has set plays. The guy does a great job. That's what we need out there in the community, coaching kids like he does. Rudy's Barbecue. Ethan Boyd is on the road today. He'll be back in town sometime today. Get out to Rudy's Barbecue. Have a great meal. Barbecue's unbelievable. The facility's gorgeous. And I tell you, I miss Ethan. Get on to him good tomorrow about how rude Jimbo's been towards Nick. Nick's 70 years old. 70 years old.
Has he been on the show since all that happened?
No, he's hiding.
He's hiding.
He don't want. He's got all the answers about all the contracts NIL. He don't want anybody asking about that. Don't forget about Blue Sky Express Car Wash. Play $19.99. You can get it washed every single day for a month. Don't forget that. Don't make a mistake like Jim did. Went in there and paid $15 one time. $19.99. You can get it washed all the time for every day for 1 month. It's on Bat Beach Road in beautiful Panama City. Right. What I do, I go past it. If I'm heading towards Pier Park, I take a right at Alf Coleman. I take another right, and you're right there.
Yeah,
it's right there.
It's right there.
All right, we'll be right back. When we get back, Jim Barrett, FSU, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
This Memorial Day, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida honors our local heroes. A Panama City native, United States Air Force Senior Master Sergeant Sherry Lynn Olds served 20 years and died in the 1998 embassy bombing in Nairobi, Africa, while serving her country. Thank you for your service and great sacrifice. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Sunday morning. I'm forecasting spotty showers and thunderstorms today and tonight. A mix of sun and clouds during the day, partly to mostly cloudy tonight. 85 for the high, low 70s for the low. South wind 10 to 15. Water temperature in the Gulf is 80 degrees. This weather forecast has been brought to you by KHS and Associates, your source for affordable medical insurance. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Stop by Panama City Toyota this Memorial Day. Their sales department is open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Their Summer Starts Here savings event is still going on with no payments for 90 days on new vehicles. APR as low as 1.9%. They have a huge selection of certified pre-owned vehicles with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Shop in person or online at PanamaCityToyota.com.
Dr. Chad Mitchell, orthopedic surgeon specializing in sports medicine and joint replacement of the knee, shoulder, and hip. He serves our local athletes and our community. Southern Orthopedic Specialist has been the leader in orthopedic care for over 20 years. New patients are welcome. Call 850-769-KNEE to schedule an appointment. More about Dr. Mitchell and Southern Orthopedic Specialist is available on their website, southernorthopedic.com. Southern Orthopedic, getting you back in the game.
He's a 10-foot-tall, barrel-chested beast man who showers in vodka and feeds his baby shrimp scampi.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Please welcome.
Pain don't hurt.
Live and local from the J. Michaels studio, the Coach James Hale Show, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Feel good. I'm good to be a FSU Seminole. The FSU updates brought to you by who? Newbies.
Yeah.
Three great locations. Newbies, too, on the curve to watch all Atlanta Braves, anything you want to watch sport-wise, play pool, brand new facilities inside. It's outstanding. Mothership, the best bands in the Southeast every Friday and Saturday night. Booze and brew, great time. Glenn likes that one the best. But I'm telling you, I love Charlotte. Beautiful lady inside out. They do so many great things for Panama City Beach, Bay County. They give back. And so support them. Tell them Coach sent you out there. All right, Jim, what do you got for us today on the Florida State Seminoles?
Well, as outstanding as the Florida State softball season went, it kind of ended on a sour note this weekend. If you watched the game, I'm going to talk about how it all ended. Just make the story a little faster here. They lost to Mississippi State in the first game with 5-0, which means they had to play them again because it's double elimination. So they were ahead 3-1, and had they won, they would have advanced to the Super Regional. Well, there was some trouble going on, and Florida State thought they did the right thing. They brought their 29-1 pitcher in, Catherine Sandercock. She's 29-1 on the season. She gives up some runs. Now they're down 4-3, which brings me to the bottom of the fifth inning. Okay, I haven't watched a lot of softball in my life, but I've watched enough, but I've never seen this happen. So Florida State leads off the bottom of the fifth. Girl gets a hit. She's on first base. No outs. Next girl comes up, hits a double to left field. Now it's second and third. Okay, no outs. They're down by 1 run. The game's 7 innings long. This is the bottom of the fifth, getting down to the nitty-gritty. All right? Umpire stops the game, calls the runner out that went to third base because she left too soon. So there's a rule in softball. You can't leave the base that you're at until the pitcher releases the ball.
The ball's got to be out of the hand.
And it was a split second. So the girl who was on third base now is out. The girl who got the double has to go back to the batter's box. So instead of having runners on second and third with no outs, they have no runners on and 1 out. Okay, it gets better. So the girl who just got the double goes back to the batter's box. She gets the hit. So technically they've had three hits in a row and haven't scored. So the girl gets a hit. Next girl gets a hit. So now they got runners on first. So count with me now. That's it. They've had 4 base hits in the bottom of the fifth, and they have not scored a run. Okay, so now the next 2 girls come up. They make outs. Okay, so now they're down. They're still down 4-3. Nobody scores. Bottom of the seventh. Florida State leads off. It's a left-handed batter, like so many people are in softball. They feel like they can beat it out to first base. Girl hits a routine ball to second base, beats the throw to first base. The umpire at first base calls her safe. But just like so much, no, we got to replay it. So the replay goes not to the umpires in Tallahassee, Florida. It goes to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. They've got some guru who saw it, and after about 5 minutes, they call her out. I thought it was, the old expression, the runner.
Tie goes the runner.
Tie goes to the runner, rather. Nope, she's out. So now they have nobody on base, and then that's the way it ended. They got 2 more outs, and they ended up losing 4-3. The thing that's so disappointing, in the 2 games against Mississippi State, they only scored 3 runs.
Yeah.
They left like 10 runners on base against Mississippi State, the game that that knocked them out. So it was kind of a disappointing season the way it ended, but they had multiple chances. But just to have your best pitcher, who's 29-1, give up a couple runs, and then have all that base running issues, and it was really, really disappointing for them.
I'm thrilled Mississippi State went through just because
I
went
right.
there, but I kind of hate it for the same reason you talked about. The thing that always bothers me with replay in any sport is it's there to correct kind of egregious mistakes.
Right.
It's not there to be the referee.
Right.
And I think we're getting way too much. Like if it's so close that you almost you have to spend 5 minutes on it, it really shouldn't be overturned.
And that's what they're saying. The announcers on TV. Unless it's overwhelming evidence.
Right.
I don't think it was.
Right.
I think it was a tie. I really do.
Well, the fact that they spent 5 minutes on it tells you it wasn't overwhelming. That's the thing.
So that was disappointing. And this is for the James Hale moment. I got to throw some water on the fire here. Because last week he's chirping and yapping about how the SEC's got 12 teams in the softball play. How many they got now, Chief? They got 3. Is Alabama in there? No. Okay. And what conference of the 16 teams that are left? What conference has the most teams still in it, James?
Big
The
Ten.
Pac-12.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
They got 5. They got Arizona State, UCLA, Arizona, Stanford,
yeah.
who beat Alabama.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Who beat them?
Stanford and Oregon State. And I watched a little bit of Oklahoma. How is anybody going to beat them?
They're good.
They're a juggernaut. Holy smokes! They beat Texas A&M 20-0 in 5 innings.
Did they fire the A&M coach?
Yeah, and A&M's coach got let go. She's been there for 27 years. That's why I was hoping Ethan would be here. I was going to rag him some more. She's been there for 27 years, been to the college or World Series 3 different times, never won it. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on there. She's 61, so maybe they figure it's coming to the end of her contract or what have you, but I don't know.
Getting beat by Oklahoma that bad?
Yeah, I think
it had nothing to do with it?
Yeah, I think that had something to do with it. I don't know. I don't know that, but that's kind of what I suspect. But getting back to Florida State for a second, it was a great season. Just kind of ended on a quirky, unsuspected way. So
yeah, I mean, they coming into Sunday, they were exactly where they needed to be.
Yeah, their first game was a no-hitter against whoever they played, and then they lost to Mississippi State 5-0, and that just kind of set it up.
Yeah, that was the shocking one.
Right.
Because they were exactly where they needed to be. Just had to win one game.
Right.
They've got their pitcher who's going in that game's like 29-2 or something,
right.
or 19-2 or whatever it was on the season.
Well, they lost 5 games on the total in the whole season, so.
No, that was
kind of
surprising.
a disappointment. Yeah,
with everything going on, I'm going to switch gears. Everything going on in college football, they fire you so quick now. I'm thinking about FSU's first game with LSU. I was talking to some LSU alumni last night, Jay Michaels. He's going to be at the game. He's going. And we got to talking, and he goes, I feel really, really good about it. I think he feels like they have more talented roster. Even with the new coaching staff, kids not knowing the system yet and everything else, getting used to one another, he feels really good about the game. I don't know if people think Florida State's got the right head football coach or what. I guess time will tell. But this game is huge for him, I think.
Yeah.
I think he's got to win that football game to have the top of your – and that's not saying he can't lose. He could lose the game and still win 11 games in a row, but I don't think that will happen. I think they need to look really good, disciplined, play well, and I think they need to win it. They can't do like they did against Notre Dame, look good and lose. They got to get a win.
Yeah, that's what I think there's a lot of pressure on him. I agree with you on that 100%. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
FSU has passed the point of moral victories and losses.
Yeah, you can't have moral victories.
I mean, it's time, man. It's been so. When's the last time they've been competitive? I mean, really a good football team. It's been a while.
Yeah, probably
when Francois got hurt.
Yeah.
Because they were coming into that game, that changed a lot.
It sure did. That's
and they couldn't protect him, and he got his brains beat out.
Oh, yeah, the offensive line's always been an issue, but they seem to have that figured out. Let me ask you this, Jim. With what Deion has done, I think I don't know if I asked you, but I've asked other people before. He gets all the national news. He's on there all the time. Everybody's talking about him. He can recruit. He's got that personality. Would they really and truly, if they made a change, and why they wouldn't, I have no idea why they wouldn't, but would they give him a shot to be the coach at Florida State?
I personally think that'll happen. I really do. I think this is my opinion now, I think he'll be the next coach after Norvell. I really do. Just for that reason right there. We can get other guys who can do the X's and O's if that's the issue. But he knows defense. He was a shutdown corner, and he's got a great personality, and he's got
the name. This recruit, just like you said, recruiting.
Got a lot of swag with him.
Could you imagine the players he could get in there?
Yep.
So I do. I think it's a critical year at Florida State. I think they need to have a really good year.
Right.
And if they don't, and Deion has a really good year, the way he's recruited there, and then just the national press he brings to the plate, to me, it's like a no-brainer.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. That's what I think that too. I think he'll be, like I said, I really truly believe he'll be the next coach at Florida State. I really do.
I don't know. There's some people who wouldn't like him, but I think they get through that. For all the reasons you said, I think they probably would offer him. The flip side of that is I'm not 100% sure that he would take it. because I some things that I've heard through the years, I'm not sure the relationship between FSU and Deion is all that great, or hasn't been all that great in a long time. So I'm not so sure he'd come, I don't know, it's a mama called situation with Deion. So I'm not 100% sold that he would take it if offered. So we'll see.
I've got a question.
Okay.
Can Deion coach?
I think he can.
Yeah,
that's the question.
Well, his teams have certainly gotten better. Now, can he coach at this level? I don't know. But everybody has that question at some point.
If you can be successful at Division 1, 2, or 3, look at the guy at Notre Dame that just went to LSU. You can coach. He seems to be organized. He's hired good people where he's been. I say, yeah, he can get it done. It's like being a CEO. Can you lead people? Are you a good leader? Are you a good motivator? And he's a great motivator. I think he can do a good job. I do believe if another good job comes open, I think it's an opportunity. If he has a good year this coming up year, I think it'll be his last year where he's at. Now, he might, like you said,
I agree with that. I just don't know that he'll end up at FSU.
His boy's there. Maybe he says, it's not the job I want. But I think he's gone after this year. I really do.
I would think so, too. It just depends what opportunity presents itself to him.
If it's a good job where you can win.
Sure.
Some jobs you don't want. I mean, it might be a bigger division, but you don't want them. All right, so I tell you the thing you do want. You definitely want to go see Dr. Ward. If something doesn't look right, feel right, do not play around. 1 in 5 develop skin cancer. If you have any type of problem, go see Dr. Ward. Hopefully, he'll be calling you tomorrow at 7:30. Mm-hmm. Another great man, great American. He looks a lot like me, built exactly like me. Jason Kovaleski, Mac Fit Sports Nutrition. Do you want to look like me, feel like me? Go see Jason. I mean, he's got a picture he takes with me when he works out. He goes, I want that body. He
Before and after picture?
Yeah. Go see Jason Kovaleski. The guy's incredible. Also, man, I have not been down there. I've got to get down there. Paparazzi Gourmet Deli. Brian, you been lately?
I haven't been lately, but I'm thinking about going this weekend because I used to love going down there like on a Friday and getting a pizza.
Oh my God, the pizza's incredible. Try the lasagna; it's unbelievable. The Glenn Manley Napoleon is great. You can't beat it. And tell them Coach sent you. All right, we'll be right back. We got Alabama Crimson Tide, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. Here's what's happening.
We are proud to partner with the Panama City Beach Chamber for the second annual Jam on the Coast 5K, presented by Visit Panama City Beach. Okay, runners, the race begins and ends in Frank Brown Park, after party at Texas Roadhouse with free food and beer. Plus, all 5K runners will receive a short sleeve shirt and all finishers get a medal. The start-finish line will be at the gates of Gulf Coast Jam, running through Frank Brown Park using Gales Trails. For more details and to register, go to pcb5k.com.
I'm Matt Glover with Aero Pest Service, and we are your family-owned and operated pest control company in Bay County since 1977. We can help you have a lawn that you can enjoy with your family. We can get rid of all the insects that destroy your parties. We can get rid of the weeds that give you anxiety, and we can fertilize your lawn and make sure that it's completely green and healthy, just the way you like it. Give us a call today at Aero Pest Service, 850-874-1900.
Chuck was terrible at fishing. He spent many frustrating hours attempting to get results he saw from internet videos, aggravating trial and error fishing trips, and misguided advice from well-intended friends. Chuck is happy now with his newfound success after he visited Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, where we keep fishing fun, simple, and successful. See us soon at Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana. Powered by Pest. 102.1, 104.3, ESPN Northwest Florida.
At Slim Chickens, craft means something. Craft means bacon. And oh so crispy. Craft means a good cayenne kick. And all-natural buttermilk marinated, made fresh, perfectly fried chicken. All served on toasted brioche buns. At Slim Chickens, craft means quality. And for a limited time, try our new Memphis-style barbecue chicken sandwich. Try Slim's Craft Sandwiches today. Slim Chickens.
Put down your natural light. It's time for the Alabama Update. The Alabama Update, weekday mornings at 8. On the Coach James Hale Show at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Roll, Tide, roll. Hope they can roll this year. Nick is 70 years old. He needs to win one more because his days are numbered. I do believe he'll be getting out of it pretty soon. I don't see him staying and putting up with all this stuff that's going on. Seems frustrated to me. The guy never says much that he doesn't plan to say. And I don't know what you guys think. We all know what he was doing. He wanted the boosters to open the pocketbooks. We're going to have to get more money up. We're going to have to beat them at their game. And he's always been that way. But for him to do it and put down other people is not the Nick Saban way. And he even came out and said, look, if you really listen closely to what he said, he really didn't put them down. Because what they did was not illegal if it was true about all the NIL deal. And technically it wasn't true because some of them have not signed the contracts yet.
Yeah, but you don't utter the phrase "bought every player."
Yes.
Know, you've coached. That's a line
That's
you
kind
don't
of crossing
cross.
the line
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with it. And that's
because when you say that, they're going to come back and say, "Well, how about the ones that you did?"
Yeah.
That's
exactly what he did.
The inevitable. That's the next line that you're going to hear.
Really bad choice of words.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. He wouldn't. Everybody says everything he says is planned out. To me, that wasn't planned out.
Right.
I think that just either slipped out or is he I don't know.
I do think it's how he feels.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't think he meant to say that exactly the way it came out.
I mean, not only what he said about that, then he brought up Jackson State. He brought up Miami basketball. And the basketball coach from Alabama sitting beside him. And everything he said, like Spurs said, a lot of it was some truth to it. But technically, a lot of it wasn't technically right because we all hear the deals and everything else. But we all don't know exactly what it is. But anyway, getting what I'm saying is he's getting up there. And he's filthy rich. He doesn't need to do this anymore. He's done everything you can do. I just hope he wins another net. I think his best opportunities this year to get it done, if he's going to get it done. And because it's like Feinbaum said, the window, the opportunity is closing. And I will say this, growing up with Bear Bryant, Woody Hayes, the guys I looked up to and just, they were my idols. If Iowa State was playing, I loved Woody Hayes. Bobby Knight in basketball. I loved Bobby Knight. A lot of people hated Bobby.
He's from Ohio.
I love Bobby Knight.
He is, Orville, Ohio.
You know, he was down at our school at Cape Coral with Dave's brother. You know, Dave's brother's the head basketball coach in Miami. They came up there. And of all days, I wasn't there. Usually we're there. It was during the summer, and Funk goes, he just left. But he did get me a signed autograph picture from Bobby Knight. I still have that somewhere. But anyway, getting back to Coach Bryant, I never remember. And Coach Bryant was looked terrible at 69. Saban looks great at 70. But I just don't remember Coach Bryant ever putting anybody down in public, ever. He always talked about class, show your class. And one time in 1972, he was interviewed and he screwed up and said something called Auburn. I'd rather lose that Notre Dame any day than that Cal College across the state. And, of course, when he said that, it went everywhere. And guess what happened? In 1972, they're undefeated. They were ranked 1 or 2 in the country.
Punt, Bama, punt.
Bama, punt. Auburn beat them 17-16. And he got beat.
Punt, Bama, punt.
But what I'm getting at.
Every game is famous for a different reason. That one was 2 block punts in 3 minutes or something? And they ran both of them back in?
I think it was the same guy, wasn't it?
Yeah. Dave Langley, I think his name. That was the hardest game I've ever experienced as a Bama fan. It killed you. My aunt and uncle, big Auburn people, they would never let me forget. And they're still alive, by the way.
How about the kick six?
That's what I was going to say. And then the kick six.
We don't talk about that.
That one that's the worst ever. But
oh my goodness,
1972 was just like that, though.
I mean, I'm not even an Alabama fan, and I watched that. I'm going like, I coached and played. I was on the field goal team in in college. Okay. And here's what they always tell you. Make sure you cover, if it's long ones, make sure you cover. I'm going, all right, which it never happened. Nobody, in all the years I've seen, coached, or played, I have never seen anyone run a field goal back, ever, anywhere.
Be honest. You've been a head coach. You've been a coordinator. How many times have you really and truly worked on extra point field goal and you watched them cover their lanes, cover the field? I don't think I ever did it in 30 years as head coach, where they go down and cover like a punt.
No, because in high school you don't try very many field goals, and you certainly wouldn't try one from 58 or whatever it was. You know?
That was the surprising thing to me is how good they were at setting that wall on the edge on the
He had
run
his punt
back.
return. He called a timeout, put punt return in there.
That was perfect.
Hey, Gus out
because they sealed
did
that
a great
perfectly.
job
On that play
but-
I've blocked from my memory.
But what I was getting at, Coach Bryant never, even older, to him everything's show class, show you class, show you class. So he never would say that. I never heard Woody Hayes, unless it was Michigan, say anything really negative about anybody else except for Michigan.
Not normally that I can remember.
So what I'm getting at, and Feinbaum talked about this. He's right. He's getting up there, and I just don't see him. Why would you want to keep on doing it when you got to deal with a name like image? I mean, recruiting, you can't coach them up like you used to because, heck, all they're going to do now is go somewhere else. And now they can actually come and recruit your players and say, look, come on, play. Have another player call and say, hey, come play with us. They'll get you an NIL deal. Why you want to be second team in Alabama? What are you waiting on? You can play now here.
Right.
So,
the players are the one, in my opinion, the players are the ones who do the recruiting, just like what you talked about. They know each other and get on the phone. And
I mean, you think he'll do it much longer?
No.
I really don't
I'd
either.
say 2-3 years tops.
As football coaches to you two, I would think the transfer portal is what drives him more nutty than the NIL.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think?
Oh, yeah. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. Hey, come on over here. And now they can do it. What happened? One-time transfer? Anyway, it's just crazy. I do want to get to this. You mentioned earlier the Justin Thomas.
Yeah.
He kind of put a little dig in, and I got it.
Well,
what did he say?
Well, after let's acknowledge, after coming from 7 shots back to win his second PGA championship, congratulations, Roll Tide. But they kind of interviewed him about whether or not he thought he had a chance, this, that, or the other, and he said,
you had the 24-hour rule.
He said, I'm going to celebrate for 24 hours. He goes, I don't know what Jimbo Fisher does. Of course, it's been a long time since he's won anything. So
he goes, I don't know if he followed his 24-hour rule. Yeah. He said, I follow the Nick Saban 24-hour rule.
But Justin Thomas and Coach Saban are very close. They play a lot of golf together, so I'm sure
that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. And the other thing now, you go back and look at Jimbo, I think he was outlined too. I didn't think he showed much class.
No.
The things he said about Nick, you just don't do that.
No, you
just
don't.
don't do that, man.
There's nothing good going to come out of that.
Well, let's look at Jimbo. All right. 2018, his first year there, his record was 9-4 and 5-3 in the SEC. 2019, Jimbo Fisher record was 8-5, 4-4 in the SEC. And then 2020, his record was 9-1 and 8-1 in the SEC. So you saw him prove it from the third year was pretty good. Then you go last year, they were 8-4, 4-4. They dropped down again. 3 years. 3 years, he won 26 games. You know how much money he made in 3 years? $22.5 million, and he won 26 games. That's a lot of money for a win. They're paying a lot of money for those wins.
I can't remember the exact numbers, but the afternoon show, Dave had this. They did a comparison, a side-by-side of him and Sumlin at the same point.
Yeah, it's almost exact
The
same
record
numbers.
is the same. Sumlin had more wins against quality opponents, whatever, and the difference in pay was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So they basically are paying like double for the exact same result, and actually fewer like top 5 wins or whatever it was like that. So
all right,
and someone beat Nick with Johnny Manziel, didn't he? Wasn't Sumlin the coach?
Yes.
In Tuscaloosa.
Yeah. And people thought for a second, it was like, well, Sumlin was in the Big 12. No, Sumlin's first year was their first year in the SEC. So he had to deal with it right out of the gate.
Right. Now, he got a new raise. He got a new deal. Was it 9.5 or 9? I think it was 9.
Who? Jimbo?
I think it was 9. It went from 7.5 to 9. Maybe
well,
9.5.
that was Ryan Day, I thought.
No. Jimbo Fisher.
I thought he
got a
signed
raise.
at 9.5 from the
No,
beginning.
he signed a 10 years, 77.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes.
Then after,
no, it is to 9.
Then he had that good year. They gave him a new raise. I want to say it's 9. I don't think it's 9.5. Okay. It could be 9.5. I know that there's 2 in the Big Ten that just got that.
Mm-hmm.
But that $9 million he just made in 2021, he only had 8 wins. So that's over $1 million. $1
million a win.
Yeah, over that. So
good work if you can get it.
Yeah, I'd like to. Dang, I'd be a multi-millionaire.
That's what we used to get.
Oh yeah.
That sounds like Jeff Fisher and the NFL money.
Yeah, I got close to $600 million. Anyway, but more on Jim Bob when we get back. As a matter of fact, we got to talk about Auburn. We got Florida on board, and then I want to talk a little bit more about him. Do you realize every year he's been there recruiting, he's finished in the top 10 recruiting? When Auburn won the national championship, some years theirs was outside the top 10 in recruiting. But Jim, and I will give Clemson some credit. Dabo went where they were in one year they weren't in the top 10 recruiting, but they won a national championship. Mm-hmm. So I really would say this. I think he's underachieved.
But say what you want about Dabo. Think about who Dabo had playing quarterback for him when they were national champs. They had Deshaun Watson and then Trevor Lawrence. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Old Jimbo's never had a quarterback at that level.
Well, wait a minute. Jimbo had to.
I'm talking about at Texas A&M.
I know he had the same opportunity to recruit like Dabo did. So that's on him. That's his
Jimbo
job.
Known as the quarterback whisperer too. I mean, it's kind of like Malzahn. The complaints on him. He was supposed to be this great quarterback development guy. Yeah,
and that's there. If you don't have the players, that's you that's not recruiting them. And if you got the right recruits there, you didn't develop them. So that's no.
So there's never an excuse.
There's no excuses, man. What, $9 million a year? There's no excuses.
Think about that. Look at the quarterback Sumlin recruited.
Yeah, he had a 5
Kyler
stars.
Murray
He had
in
all
there.
kind of 5 stars.
He had Josh Allen, or not Josh Allen, Kyle Allen in there. Yeah,
you're right, Brian.
That's
I
true.
don't see a big difference in the coaching there at all. All right, let's talk.
Sumlin's in the USFL.
Let's talk about Stevenson Air Conditioning. I really want to appreciate Jason for sponsoring the Alabama Update. If seriously you have any kind of problems, call Debbie. Make yourself an appointment. If you got every 6 months, get it serviced. It runs better. It saves you electricity bill. Also, if you got an old one, let them come in and put a brand new one in. It will save you money. Actually, will pay for itself over a period of time. Stevenson Air Conditioning, #1. It's not even close. Don't forget about J. Michael's Restaurant on Thomas Drive, the best seafood, coldest beer. Chuck Tucker, nobody better. Demand Chuck, South Oak Title and Closing for all your real estate needs. We'll be right back. Auburn Tigers, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Country music singers.
ESPN Northwest Florida, the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Chris is up next in Montgomery. Hello, Chris.
My dad put me on you, before you even came on television. And, I used to joke about you, and I was like, why are you listening to this guy? And then I started listening, and I was like, wow, I'm the dumb guy.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays 6 to 10 on 102.1 and 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good Sunday morning. I'm forecasting spotty showers and thunderstorms today and tonight. A mix of sun and clouds during the day, partly to mostly cloudy tonight. 85 for the high, low 70s for the low. South wind 10 to 15. Water temperature in the Gulf is 80 degrees. This weather forecast has been brought to you by Mid-South Lumber, best little lumber yard in Panama City and Youngstown. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs, with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5, and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food, on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison. Sykes Concrete has been in business in this area since 1947, and 3 generations later, they're still going strong. See Sykes Concrete for dirt, sand, rock, and concrete. They can handle any size job from the smallest to the largest. Sykes Concrete pays CDL truck drivers some of the highest wages in Bay County, making $50,000 to $75,000 a year, including holiday and vacation pay, plus health insurance. See Hugh Sykes at Sykes Concrete, 8030 Highway 77, on the right, just north of Southport Elementary School.
Tiger fans, join us weekday mornings at 8:15. It's the Bay Point Golf Auburn Update on the Coach James Hale Show at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Whoa, Eagle! Hey, Martha, Kenny, Auburn update brought to you by Bay Point Golf. If you love golf, there's only one place to go. That's Bay Point. Don't forget Thursday they have dinner specials every Thursday. Go try it out. Club 72. Friday night's the place to go. Listen to some music. Have an ice cold drink. Some good food, good wings, hamburgers, you name it. And you don't have to beat the big crowds. And I do miss my boy Ryan. He will not be here Friday. I'll see him after that. But anyway, let's talk about Auburn. I got a little bit on Auburn Day. Then I'm going to save some time because I want you to tell that story about Walter Payton. I met him one time. All right, Auburn. They've got them anywhere from ranked to unranked. Now, this is the post. This is the, I think this was this, I want to say it's Saturdays Down South. I could be wrong on that. I shouldn't say that. But the post ratings, again, and everybody has their own thoughts on it. But let's look into it. SEC predictions and where Auburn is. We'll start with the East. This is what they have. I know it's going to make you Gator fans upset too. Number one, the best team in the East, and a lot of them have Georgia going undefeated and playing Alabama for the SEC championship. Out of the East, Georgia number one. The second best team out of the East, Tennessee.
Maybe.
They've brought in some talent. They got some transfer guys in there. They're doing some good things. Number three, guys, I don't get this. I do not understand this. Maybe I'm not that bright. Number three, South Carolina.
Hot at the end of last year, everybody's in love with them.
Yep.
They're going to struggle.
Kentucky's number four. I think I was.
Yeah.
Kentucky might be number two.
I was thinking that too.
I would certainly.
I would at least have them three. I would switch those two. And this is a mystery team to me. Missouri's got some athletes. They play better on the defense side of the ball. They could be really good. They could be really bad. They got them fifth in the SEC. That is Missouri. And number 6 in the SEC West, get this, Vandy. And the worst team in the SEC East, the Florida Gators.
I know. I saw that thing too. I was like, what? What?
I don't get
Vandy
this.
ahead of the Gators? Come on.
There's only one way this makes sense. If Chef Chris wrote this. Then it would make sense.
Yeah, I can see Chris doing that. If they lose to Utah and then lose, who they got after that? Kentucky, and then lose Tennessee in the same month, I could see it falling apart. I don't think it's happening. They got a ball coach there now. This guy can recruit. He's got a huge staff. I think Florida's going to be a lot better. I do. I could be crazy about this. I think they're going to be a lot better.
Certainly they're going to be better than Vandy. Come on,
yeah,
man.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. All right, SEC West, they got Alabama winning the West. Number 2, Arkansas.
I could see that.
I can see that. I don't know if it'll happen. Number 3, Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
The way they've recruited, yeah. Number 4, your Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Not going to happen.
Not LSU, not Ole Miss, but Mississippi State. What are you hearing?
Same thing I always hear. Most impossible team to predict ever. I have no idea.
You would think the offense would be better this year.
No, lost a lot of people. I mean, now you've still got Rodgers, but all the receivers either transferred or went in the draft. I don't know. The defense, I like that Arnett's still there, but they lost some talent there. Charles Cross he was first round left tackle. You got to replace that. That's a big thing in Leach's offense. But I've never felt confident picking Mississippi State. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's what I think they'll do. They'll lose a game they shouldn't. They'll win a game they shouldn't.
Right.
And they'll probably be 6-6.
And they'll look really pretty getting off the bus like they always do in Starkville. All right, number 5, Ole Miss Rebels. Some people have Rebels. I've seen one where Rebels are second in the SEC. One of them have Ole Miss beating Alabama, everything else.
A lot of new players, too. That's a mystery.
At least they got some good players that transferred in.
Sure.
I think they got a chance to be good. Lane's offense, is going to be good regardless of who's playing there. Number 6, LSU. Number 6, LSU.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Jim. What do you? I know the first year's the toughest year coaching.
Right.
The guy can coach.
Yeah,
the guy knows what he's doing. They got players
that
there.
seems a little low.
I think LSU might be a surprise team, but then again, they might be just like what this guy's saying.
Yeah, we'll see. Time will tell.
I don't know, Brian. What do you think?
It's just so hard to tell because they got so many new players. Their quarterback situation's not great. I don't know. If they go through and kind of handle Florida State, they're probably on a good trajectory. I don't know. I mean, the first 3 are set. The last 4 you can interchange. I'd probably have Ole Miss at 4, maybe LSU at 5, and then Mississippi State and Auburn battling out the bottom. But I don't know.
And you knocked out a ballpark. Finally, we get to the Auburn Tigers. They think they're the worst team in the West. Again, I've seen other polls where they've been in the middle, somewhere they were number 3. They do have ESPN computer rankings, the toughest schedule in college football. Their non-conference game at home, Penn State, crossover game, Georgia, every year. So their schedule is brutal. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
So what do you think? You think they'll finish last in the SEC?
No, I don't think they'll finish last.
Just remember, every year we all thought Auburn's going to be terrible. They're good.
And I don't know if you talked about this yesterday. Did you talk about how your boy Yellowwood was saying that he had nothing to do with all
that? No, tell everybody what. And Yellowwood's he's worth $950 million.
Right.
Okay. One of the richest guys in the state of Alabama.
Yeah, and he said that he had nothing to do with the boosters fussing with Brian Hartson or this past offseason. He had nothing to do with it. But he's the biggest booster in the state of Alabama for the Auburn Tigers. So it's like I don't know if that's true or not, but I just kind of stretches credibility there a little.
Jim,
bit.
you know what I found interesting about that was the fact that he actually addressed it in the media. Shows you how much grief he's taken over that, because those guys never talk about stuff like that. But here we go again with technically. The line he used was, boosters don't hire and fire coaches. We hire and fire presidents. Well, who hires and fires coaches?
Exactly.
So he's probably technically right. But they
Good
put
point.
their guy in who will make the decision.
Right.
So.
All right, so Jeremiah Cobb, 4-star running back from Montgomery, Alabama, the number 12 running back in the class of 2023.
That's the cradle of football players.
The cradle of unbelievable football, talented
Bart
people,
Starr,
beautiful
Johnny
women.
Davis,
We got
James
some,
Hale.
Listen, we got great Montgomeryans living all in the Panhandle of Florida. So Jeremy preached up in Montgomery, so you know it was a great place, as far as you know.
He had to redeem people like James Hale.
That's right.
He's still working pretty hard.
Get the holy water.
It burns.
I guarantee you throw holy water on James Hale. It burns. It stings. Yeah.
Mama. You're going to be glad my mama's not around right now. Anyway. Can I finish?
No.
He was the number 18th player from the state of Alabama. He has 33 offers. His top 6 are Auburn, Clemson, Georgia, Tennessee, LSU, and Texas. Jim, he ran as a junior. Now this is speed. Junior, he ran 11,500 meters as a junior. 23.27 200 meters as a sophomore. I don't know. I got to see this one. As a sophomore, he ran 100 meters 10.96. I'd like to see that. But hey, they said he did it, so I guess he did. He's been to Auburn already 2 times. He's been to Tennessee. Now he's going to go back to Clemson. I think it's the first time at Clemson, June 3rd through the 5th. Going back up to Tennessee, June 24th through the 25th. As you all know, Montgomery's just down the road. Montgomery is an Auburn town, by the way. I would think if they want him badly, that they'll make a nice little deal with him. I think my prediction, Cobb will be a 4-star running back and playing at Auburn. Bigsby I can't remember now. Is this his 3rd year or 2nd?
I think 3rd.
I think he's coming into his junior year.
Which would mean you're going to have an opening at running back at Auburn because he'll probably go in the NFL. So I think Cobb will wind up being an Auburn Tigers, which is a good thing. They have picked, and I've got old notes I never got to use. They have picked up some defensive linemen from different schools. They have picked up some other players that they need. They're transferring in. So they are getting players in there, and hopefully things will continue to improve there. Let me tell you guys, the ones they got there now across the board can play. It's not like Auburn doesn't have football players. The problem, we said all along, the backups, going through that schedule and staying healthy. If they can stay healthy, they can surprise some people. They're going to have a lot of luck, and they're going to have to stay healthy. Real quick, we got time. Let's get in that story about you and our boy.
Oh, I didn't know I was telling this on the air, but we can. I got to adjust it a little bit. But No, it was back in the 90s when Barry Sanders was actually starting to creep up on the Walter Payton's rushing record that Barry ended up retiring before he got it, and Emmitt Smith beat it. But Walter Payton was staying about 20 miles outside of Starkville, and ESPN had, I don't know, I think it was a Sunday night game back then, and they asked if we could bring him into the studio so they could do like a live interview halftime with him. And I worked in TV, so we brought him in. They did the interview, and it was our job, me and another student worker, to take him back out to West Point to where he was staying and all like that. And so we're petrified. I mean, we grew up idolizing this guy. We don't know how he's going to be, so we're scared to even talk to him or whatever like that. So we get about halfway, and he turns and he goes, "Are y'all in a hurry?" And like, "No, not really." He says, "I want to stop and get some red beans and rice at this place, Anthony's in West Point." And we said, so I said, "Well, you know, Mr. Payton, I'm not sure you're going to want to do that. They got a fraternity party there tonight, and it's probably going to be crazy packed and all like that." And he says, "You know any of them boys?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You want to have some fun?" I said, "Well, sure." You know, 22-year-old me, yeah, let's go. So anyway, we walk in, and, you know, he walks in the door. And, of course, all the guys know exactly who it is. "Oh, my gosh, Walter Payton." And he fires off, "Hey, y'all know my boy Brian here?" And walked around like he and I had been best friends the whole life. Let me tell you how much cred that gave me on the Mississippi State campus after that. I'd met him 20 minutes earlier, but, he was a wonderful guy. He talked to us the whole rest of the way. We actually got him back to where he was staying and opened the door. And for wrestling fans out there, he was staying with the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. And so saw him, talked to him. I mean, it was just, he was a really nice guy.
Did you see that match where he got beat? Jim Brandt body slammed him. Remember that?
Well, nobody beat Jim Brandt.
Was that back in the 80s?
Yeah, it was.
Jim was big back then. It was amazing. All right, let's talk about that's a good story. I like that.
That's a good one.
I have to tell you the rest of it later.
The real story when we get back. Yeah. When we get back, we're going to talk about the Florida Gators. But right now, let's talk about some of our fine people. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, the newest and best Mexican restaurant in Panama City Beach, right across from the Navy base. Go try it. You'll absolutely love it. Happy hour 4 to 7. Every Thursday, they got a little Mexican band that's outstanding. And one of my new favorite places, I love Dave and Mike. They do a wonderful job down there. American Charlie, 10%. Well, I don't know what the percentage is, but we got a discount for all first responders. Go try it for lunch. It's a great new place. Where Montego Bay used to be. The food's incredible, guys. Go try it. You'll love it. Tell them Coach sent you. We'll be right back. Brian's got Florida when we get back. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Weather in Northwest Florida can change on a dime.
Gale force winds bombarded with heavy rain.
That's why 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has the most up-to-date forecast on the Gulf Coast. Hi, this is staff meteorologist Tim Root. With over 40 years of experience, I know just how fast we can go from sun and fun to a serious situation. For the most accurate and detailed weather, when it matters, rely on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hi, I'm Tracy, your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Shopping for the perfect diamond can be difficult, but that's why I've trained my staff to be helpful and to offer you a stress-free diamond experience. Pick your sparkle and use our easy layaway plan. Every woman deserves an exquisite diamond from your diamond girl at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. We don't work on commissions.
We work for smiles and I-dos.
So if you're tired of high-pressure salespeople, stop by and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Let your adventures begin in a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Stop by today and discover why everyone is talking about the award-winning Kia. Now offering 1.9% APR up to 48 months on a new purchase of the 2022 Kia Forte, K5, Soul, or Sorento. Bill Bird Kia is not only the home of that 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty, they're also the home of the best customer experience anywhere. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKia.com. KMForPurchase.com. We make buying a car easy, and you'll enjoy the way we do business.
Offer from KMF for purchase of a new 2022 Forte K5, Soul, or Sorrento with $21.65 per month per $1,000 financed in 48 months. Quantities limited. No down payment required. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Billbird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 5/31/22.
Chuck was terrible at fishing. He spent many frustrating hours attempting to get results he saw from internet videos, aggravating trial and error fishing trips, and misguided advice from well-intended friends. Chuck is happy now with his newfound success after he visited Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, where we keep fishing fun, simple, and successful. See us soon at Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
From the Vortex Springs to the Bear Paw Canoe Trail. From Shell Island to 30A. We're your home for live sports. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michaels studio. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Go Gators! Our Gator updates brought to you today by Brian. Brian, what do you got for us today on the Mighty Gators?
Well, as Jim so gleefully informed us earlier, only 3 SEC teams are moving on to the super regional level of women's softball. However, one of them is the Florida Gators. Florida joins Mississippi State and Arkansas in moving on to the super regional level. The Gators got it done by winning their 9th straight regional. They moved on to super regional for the 9th straight year. They beat Wisconsin in the championship game 11-0. It was 10-0 after the first inning. So kind of took all of the drama out of it. But they're going to be heading up to Blacksburg, Virginia. They're going to play number 3 national seed Virginia Tech in the Super Regional. And first game will be Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Saturday's game is at noon. And if a Sunday game is needed, probably somewhere around noon as well. They haven't released that yet. But it's a best 2 out of 3 series. And again, Virginia Tech, number 3 national seed. Florida, I want to say, was the number 14 national seed. They were 47-16 on the year. So good luck to the Lady Gators up there. Staying on the diamond, baseball. Florida finishes the year 35-20, 15-15 in the SEC. They won their last 4 SEC series, which is quite a feat in this league. In fact, Florida is one of the hottest teams in the country. They've won 12 of their last 15 games. Yeah. And so they're heading into the SEC tournament. They're actually the 7th seed. They will play today. They're the second game today. The exact time isn't known because that'll depend on Alabama, Georgia. But they will play South Carolina in the game right after that. Now, South Carolina and Florida just played a weekend series. And the Gators took 2 out of 3. They took the Friday and Saturday game. South Carolina took the 3rd contest. Florida won 14-5 and 8-0, then dropped the 3rd game 4-1 this past weekend. Brandon Sproat is going to throw for the Gators today. He was 8-4 on the year. Now, some more baseball news while we're at it. 3 Gators have been named award winners and 2 All-SEC teams. BT Riopel is the first team All-SEC catcher. Now, he's a transfer in from Coastal Carolina, so Ryan Mulvey's check must have bounced on that one. He came down to the Gators, but he led all catchers in the SEC this year with 14 home runs. He had 50 RBIs and batted .306 from the catcher position. So no wonder at all why he ended up first team All-SEC. Wyatt Langford was named second team All-SEC. He's an outfielder. 21 home runs. That tied for the SEC lead this year. And he had 55 RBIs. And then Brandon Neely was named to the freshman All-SEC team. He's a right-handed pitcher. Kind of came on about midway through the season, developed into one of Florida's big 3. He was 2-1 on the year in decisions, 2.95 ERA. He had 44 strikeouts and 36 2/3 innings. But in his last outing against South Carolina, he threw 7 shutout innings and had 10 strikeouts in that time. So Congratulations to those award winners for Florida. In basketball news, don't get a lot of that now, but Florida has announced that Torian Green, a lot of people will remember him, the point guard on the national championship teams for the Gators in the mid-2000s. Torian Green will be named Director of Player Development under new head coach Todd Golden. Green just finished a 14-year pro basketball career with a couple teams in the NBA and then a couple teams in Europe. But he just spent this past year working under, of course, his head coach at Florida, Billy Donovan. He worked as a player development consultant with the Chicago Bulls, where Billy Donovan's the head coach. So that should be a good pickup for the Gators, connect them with some of the alumni and things like that. So good luck there. And then finally, some more spring sport news. Florida Gators have quite a tennis program, and the national championships are going on now up at University of Illinois. McCartney Kessler, who is the number 12 seed on the women's side, she beat Solimar Colling from San Diego, 6-1, 6-1. Kessler was the 2022 SEC Player of the Year, and she will next face number 26 Connie Ma of Stanford. They're in the round of 32 at the NCAA Tennis Championships. Carly Briggs and Marley Zane will play doubles today. They're going to play the number 36 team from Georgia Tech in the first round of the doubles. Now, over on the men's side, Ben Shelton was ranked number 2 in the country this year, but somehow he's the number one ranked player in the tournament. I don't know how that works, but he got a win over number 27 Andrej Styler from Michigan, 7-5, 6-2. His next opponent has not been decided yet. I think that match is going on earlier today. And then Sam Rafais, who's the captain, won over the number 9 seed. Sam's number 28 seed. He upset the number 9 seed, Cannon Kingsley, from the Ohio State University. Sorry, Jim. 7-5, 6-2 as well. And he will next face number 49, Garrett Johns of Duke. So a lot of Gators still alive in the tennis. The softball team's alive. Baseball team kicks off the SEC play. And if they have a good run through the SEC tournament, there's a chance the Gators may host a regional, which would be huge at that new ballpark. So a lot of good stuff going on for the Gators here in spring sports.
Seems like they're getting hot baseball at the right time.
Absolutely, at the right time. So.
Or either the schedules set up nicely.
Well, I mean, South Carolina wasn't one of the tip-top teams, but at least unlike Mississippi State, they made the conference tournament.
I can't believe Mississippi
And remember,
State.
they beat Florida State midweek last week, too. So
I can't believe did Mississippi State win something pretty big last year?
Well, they did. I'm still ringing my cowbell over it. First national championship in school history. And then started the year number 3 in the country.
They didn't get invited to Hoover.
No, they're done. But the softball team's going to host the Super Regional.
Softball team's making up.
You could have made real money on that if you'd have laid that bet this year. And Mississippi State had players. They had that's the other thing. R.J. Yeager, the transfer in from Mercer, who's at Mississippi State, who went to Mosley High School, first team All-SEC second baseman. So congratulations.
Now, if Florida wins today, they'll get A&M. I think it's A&M.
I can't remember. I looked at so many teams in the bracket. I can't remember exactly who Florida got, but I'll look that up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's A&M, and I think that is. I think it's the second game on Wednesday also.
Yeah, they've kind of kept those teams so if Alabama goes through, they're the first game again on Wednesday, kind of thing. Right. So I think they're keeping it that way.
How many SEC schools get to into the playoffs?
For the regional round?
Yeah. What do you think the number will be?
I think 9 or 10 will, usually. I mean, that's usually around 9 if they've had a decent year. I haven't really looked at the records down the line to see. I think a team like Alabama probably has to win the tournament to get in, or maybe at least get to the final round. Kentucky would probably have to win it. South Carolina probably needs to make a deep run. The rest of them are in fairly good shape, at least to make a regional. But again, it's somewhat like basketball. It's going to depend on how many teams. You want the smaller conference teams, the teams maybe who were good enough already to get in, they need to win their conference tournament so we don't add a bunch of
And you can tell me too, like some teams will try to save players knowing they're already set and ready to go. Where the SEC, like Tennessee, do they have to really? Who cares if they win the tournament?
It's
I mean,
almost
won the SEC.
It's almost a time-honored tradition that the big team in the SEC almost wants to lose, so that they can get some extra rest going into the regionals. And Mississippi State, a lot of people credit their run last year with the fact that they were bounced pretty early. So, it's hard to tell.
Breaking news now: put your mortgage down. The national champ this year in baseball will come out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. The Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles win it all.
Okay. You heard it here first.
Heard it here first. Breaking news. They do got a good team, seriously. They got pretty good this year. How much time we got?
A&M will get the winner of the Florida-South Carolina
So it was
game.
A&M.
That's correct.
And that's like the second game on Wednesday. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. I really appreciate all you guys. Dr. Chad Mitchell, every Monday, 22 years on Bay County sidelines taking care of athletes. You don't have to be an athlete to go see Chad. He does an incredible job. Rudy's Barbecue on Bat Beach Road. You want the best barbecue, hey, from the great state of Texas. They're incredible. Go try it. Ethan Boyd does a wonderful job. He'll be in here tomorrow with Brian, and we can get on to him about Jimbo Fisher if you'd like. That'd be fun. A lot of people in the Panhandle don't really care about Jimbo too much. But get to Rudy's. Try the barbecue sandwich. I guarantee you'll absolutely love it. Newbies, 3 great locations. Newbie 2 on the Curve. That's the place to go watch all sporting events. They've remodeled. It looks beautiful in there. And 1 in 5 develop skin cancer. If it doesn't look right, feel right, please do not put it off. Go see Dr. Ward today. We'll be right back on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Your attention, please.
ESPN Northwest Florida reminds you it's the law. It's the law. When there's a double red flag, stay out of the water, stick your toes in the sand, grab a cold drink, and listen to live sports.
Swung on, miss, strike 3.
On 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Double play!
Good Sunday morning. I'm forecasting spotty showers and thunderstorms today and tonight. A mix of sun and clouds during the day, partly to mostly cloudy tonight. 85 for the high, low 70s for the low. South wind 10 to 15. Water temperature in the Gulf is 80 degrees. This weather forecast has been brought to you by KHS and Associates, your source for affordable medical insurance. For 104.3 and 102.1 ESPN Northwest Florida, I'm meteorologist Tim Root.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh. She's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Here is your ice-cold Pepsi Zero Sugar, sir.
Oh, thanks. Wanna watch the game?
Ooh, little sports ball on a Sunday afternoon. Don't mind if I do. Hey, did we win? It sounds like we won.
It's still the first quarter.
I must be lucky. People say that about me. Tough break on that free throw there. Shouldn't be doing that.
Dude, we're watching football. Come on. For everyone who spent the entire game explaining the entire game, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michaels studio.
They got something that money couldn't buy.
I was noticing when you come down the stairs that you've got pretty legs.
All right, I'll tell you a story without a happy ending.
Y'all following this?
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Here are your 10 best college football games for 2022, according to 24/7 Sports.
Southern Miss versus UMass.
Southern Miss, no, we don't play.
UConn versus
Southern Mississippi versus Troy. No. And coming in at number 10. Some of these I'm not getting. I don't have the love for these. Utah, Oregon, 11-19. Utah played in the Rose Bowl. They scored 40-something points on the Buckeyes. They still gave up 50-something. Oregon, first-year coach. Who do y'all like in this game? Neither one?
I'd like Utah. I mean, Oregon is a tough place to play. I just think Oregon's going to struggle this year.
In year one. What do you think?
I'd go with Utah.
All right. No, the ninth best game, according to 24/7 in college football 2022. NC State, Clemson, 10-1. It doesn't say who's home and away, so I don't know. Who you like in this one?
It's probably the most important game in the ACC. It may propel whoever's going to be the conference champion. I don't know that I'd say I'm excited to watch it, but it'll probably be impactful for the ACC.
That's not one of my top 10. I'll go with Clemson, though.
Yeah, I would have to go with
And
Clemson.
that'll be at Clemson.
Yeah. I don't know how this got in here. Those two right there would not. There's other games that are not in here that would be really big to me, like Arkansas, Alabama, Ole Miss, LSU, stuff like that. Georgia, Auburn are a lot better games, in my opinion, than these. Number 8, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma. If that's on, nothing else on, I'll watch that. 11-19, who you like?
I'd probably take Oklahoma State right now. They want to get. They were a yard away from winning the conference last year. Oklahoma's had a bunch of turnover, coaching and players. So I'd probably Oklahoma State. But I mean, that's a rivalry game, so who knows what you're going to get there.
I'm kind of like you. First year, Oklahoma's new coach. I don't know. If I had to pick today, I'd pick Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Who you like, Jim?
I'd probably go to Oklahoma State also.
All right, number 7, the 7th best team. I'm sorry, the 7th best game. Oregon, week 1 versus Georgia. More or less a home game for the Georgia Bulldogs. I like Georgia. I think it's going to be close to what people think, but I do like Georgia to win this one. Who y'all like?
I'll be honest, I'm going to lose interest in that game after Dan Lanning shakes Kirby's hand, because that's the most interesting part of that game to me. Georgia's going to win pretty easy. The only thing, I might be curious to see how their defense looks to start the season.
And where's that game being played?
Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's a blowout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, number 6. Now, this one I would watch. Notre Dame, Ohio State, week 1, prime time, the game on ABC.
In the shoe,
season.
baby.
Yeah. I think Ohio State's going to put it on them.
I don't know what the final score will be, but I think Ohio State's going to beat them. They play well against Notre Dame.
Yeah. I could see Notre Dame doing kind of what they did in the bowl, where they got out hot and then faded. I could see that. But, no, I'm very interested to watch that. Just nothing else. Just that's a blue blood matchup.
Yeah. And I watched the new head coach in the bowl game, and that's probably not fair. He just became the head coach a couple weeks earlier. So you would think the performance by Notre Dame would be a lot better. If not, they will get blown out. So, but hopefully it'll be better. Number 5, I would watch this one. Texas, Oklahoma, 10-8. Oklahoma, Texas, who y'all like? Texas should be better.
Should be. How does Texas deal with the Alabama stomp that we expect that's going to happen? Because we know how that's affected other teams in the past. I don't know. It's always a fun game to watch. I may lean Oklahoma here. I think Texas is still going to be reeling from that.
You would think that Oklahoma would have the advantage there. Brent Venables has made his money on being a defensive coach, and he's going to Oklahoma, that's what they've needed, because they haven't played defense in forever, probably since the Selman brothers have been there. So I think Oklahoma will have the advantage there.
Well, remember that Dylan Gabriel from UCF is transferred. He's going to be their quarterback at Oklahoma, so he can play. But
if I had to pick today, I'd pick Oklahoma. Who knows?
Right.
I'm like you. Who knows? Texas could be really good, or they could be like they were last year. All right, I think they're going to be a lot better. Number 4th best game of 2022 season, the big one. I watch it every single year. Michigan, Ohio State. I would have it in the top 4 for sure. 11-26. I think Michigan is in trouble. I think Ohio State can remember what happened last year. I think they'll show up and play at home, and I don't think Michigan's defense can stop their offense.
That's my hope. Yeah, I'm like you. When Ohio State is motivated like they were a couple years ago when they played Clemson, that's all they coaches talk and they put the dog on Clemson.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to have a good chance. I can't predict for sure, obviously, but I don't think it's a good matchup for Michigan.
And that game will be on noon on Fox.
Yeah.
I will always watch that game regardless. So it's a great game to watch.
You got Ohio State?
Oh, yeah.
All right, I don't know. This one's will be big out there. I don't think it nationally is that huge. Southern Cal, Utah, with what Southern Cal's bringing in, Utah had a great year last year. They opened up with Florida. I'm gonna go out on a limb right now. I would have Southern Cal winning that game. Most people are gonna have Utah winning it.
I would go with Southern Cal. I think Southern Cal is going to be really good on offense. They got a lot of weapons. They're going to be hard to stop.
I will watch this game because this game is going to be critical not just for this season in the Pac-12, but this could be what springboards USC to national power again.
Yep.
But I honestly, if I were picking now, I'd pick Utah. But this is a hugely important
I think most
game.
people would. All right, number 2, Alabama, Texas, week 2. That's the big game that weekend. Most of the ones are on week 1, but this is a big one, week 2. Alabama's at Texas. It's been over 100 years since I think it's been 100 years last time they played out there. Bama's always had struggled with Texas in the history of the school. I think we've only beaten them once or twice, maybe
beat
twice.
them in a big game though.
Yeah, so I think it'll be close to what people think. I like Bama on the road week 2 of the season. I think Bama gets it done.
I do too.
See, I'm real excited for it, but I don't think this is going to be a good game. I think Alabama's going to stomp.
I hope you're
right.
right.
As both you well know, everybody talks about, we want Bama, we want this. They run their mouth and they want this, they want that. Okay, be careful what you ask for. And I just think Alabama's going to put it on them. I really do.
Well, this is not going to surprise anybody, especially because what all's been going on in college football the last week or so.
Sure.
The number one team, the number one game, and you seriously, you watch any national show, that's what Dan Patrick, all of them going, I can't wait to October 8th. And it's going to be Alabama, Texas A&M. Now, people can say Texas A&M ain't this, ain't that. 4 straight years recruiting in the top 10, the number 1 class in the country, the best class in college football history this past year. They've got players. Who's going to be their quarterback? Who y'all like?
I like Alabama, just for Bryce Young. I mean, you got the Heisman Trophy winner coming back. That kind of gives you. I don't care how many young receivers they got. They still got the Heisman Trophy guy.
I like Alabama here too, but because of how I think 2 previous games are going to affect this, and they both should be on this list too. A&M Arkansas is going to be a massive game to determine who's going to make a run at Alabama in the West, and that game is 2 weeks before this. The week after A&M Arkansas, Alabama-Arkansas play, and it's at Fayetteville. So if Arkansas gets through A&M, the Alabama-Arkansas game is a huge national game. If A&M gets through Arkansas, then the A&M-Alabama game could be the biggest game of the year because you'd probably have 2 undefeated West teams and the whole Jimbo Nick stuff underneath it. So, but the quiet game that's not on there, and I understand why it's not on there. Arkansas Texas A&M is a giant game that I'm really looking forward to watching.
As crazy as it sounds, the Alabama Tennessee game, the old rival game back in the 70s, was on TV, national TV, quite a bit. Don't be surprised if Tennessee's undefeated, Bama goes in there, and they better be ready to play. Because it's hard to beat somebody 16 straight years.
Absolutely. You know what's surprising, Jim? Where's Penn State, Ohio State?
Yeah.
That's always a huge game.
Yeah,
I like Auburn, Georgia. I guess they figuring Auburn's not going to be very good next year. I get it.
Yeah.
Auburn, Penn State, that's another game you would think.
Sure.
Ole Miss, Arkansas. There's a lot of good games I like because being in the South. Instead of, I really don't get pumped up too much about Oregon, Utah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them I wouldn't have on there. 2 minutes? Are you kidding? We're already done. All right.
I'm very interested to what this Florida-Utah game is going to tell a lot too.
I don't know if I got time. I'm going to do it anyway. The best college stations in college football, the top 10. I'm going to go real quick. Number 10, I'm shocked one of them's not on there. You'll be mad. Number 10, Nebraska. Number 9, Clemson. Number 8, Michigan. Number 7, Texas A&M. Number 6, FSU. Number 5, Wisconsin. Number 4, the Florida Gators. Number 3, Alabama. Number 2, Penn State. And number 1, LSU.
I'm going to shock you here, Coach. I don't think Bryant-Denny's that great a stadium.
Turn that mic off and never turn it back on.
It's
again.
great because Alabama plays on it, but
let me. When's the last time you've been in it?
2001.
Okay. Thank you.
I liked Georgia better. I liked Auburn better.
You hadn't been there in 20 years.
I think Florida State's high. I mean, I'm really trying to rile up all our listeners, but
I had Florida State people that are big boosters. Their wives are Bama. They go to the game and go, "Oh my God, this stadium's incredible." But you hadn't been there since they've closed it in,
I've
all
missed
the work
all
on the outside,
stuff,
inside.
but just from
You've
a
been there, you
beautiful
like it.
stadium.
I'm surprised Ohio State wasn't there.
Yeah, so am I, but that don't matter.
Ohio State, and you've been in both stadiums. Is Ohio State and Alabama look similar?
I've never been inside of Alabama's. I've been outside.
Oh, okay.
Clemson's is really underrated. It's a good stadium.
All right, Brian's got you tomorrow. Jim's going to be out. We have a national show Friday, Monday, afternoon show. Big Dave, the Underdogs, great show they'll have lined up for you every day. And then Fine Bomb, 6 to 10. We got Atlanta Brave baseball, you name it. We got it all right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. See you guys tomorrow.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your radio home for live and local sports coverage. For the most high school and college sports from right here in our local area, it's the Coach James Hale Show, weekday mornings 7 till 9. Then the ride home is alive and kicking with the afternoon Underdogs, covering the gamut of sports. Plus, the radio home